Prince Ministries. So I'm very blessed to welcome Philip Wyns, the president of Derek Prince USA, and the former president, Dick Leggatt, who's here with us as well, and their wives, Lisa and Cindy. So welcome, everyone. And I just want to take a snippet in advance and just say that we are so blessed to partner with this wonderful ministry. Our founders, Ray and Sharon, as Sharon mentioned, they were very, very profoundly mentored by Derek Prince, also Lance Lambert, and they became great close friends. And we have a partnership now which is actually born out of that friendship. Kim Branson, who's in the crowd here with us, he was our first coordinator that worked on a CFI project called First Fruits, this project is all about helping the household of faith in Israel. So it's Messianic Jewish believers, Arab Christians, Russian-speaking, Hebrew-speaking, Amharic-speaking, and it was such a great fit. Sharon and Michael Tracy, DPM in Germany, there was a great idea that we could partner, and whilst we're out visiting these congregations anyway, we could help to feed them spiritually with the wonderful materials of Derek Prince, which is so solid. And this ministry partnership has been a beautiful addition to our work, and we love it. And I must say also that Derek Prince Ministries have been extremely gracious and generous in humanitarian aid as well for some of the CFI projects, including the project that we saw with the doors for Kibbutz Sikim. They financed that. So thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Hello, everyone. It's really loud. I have a loud voice. Thank you so much for having us. We feel very honored to be a part of CFI. And last night, Sharon did a great job of kind of laying out the format of how we're going to be talking about the past. We're going to be talking about the present and the future. And it's just in this year that I have become the president of Derek Prince Ministries. Dick Leggatt, the former president. So I'm going to have Dick share about the past of the relationship with Derek Prince Ministries and Israel and CFI, and then I'll close it out. Dick.
Thanks, Philip. So, as you know, Derek had a great love for Israel, always did. Actually, I wouldn't say always, but that love began back in his service as when he was with the British military. He was not a combative soldier. He was basically a conscientious objector who served with the British military. First stationed in North Africa, then he was transferred to Palestine. And while he was in Palestine, one of his, after he had come to faith while in the military, one of his dear friends in the military said, "Derek, if you really want a blessing, go up to this little prayer meeting that's run by a woman named Lydia Christensen, and go up there. It's just such a blessing to be there." So I think Derek was already falling in love with Jerusalem at that point and with Israel, but it was only heightened by his visit to this orphanage that was run by Lydia Christensen, who then became Lydia Prince in 1945. As Derek said, you don't choose Jerusalem, Jerusalem chooses you. And he was clearly chosen by Jerusalem, and it won his heart. Not only did Lydia win his heart, and Lydia's 8 adopted daughters also won Derek's heart, but Jerusalem won his heart as well. So they were there, Lydia and Derek and their 8 adopted daughters were there really on the front lines in 1948 when Israel became a nation. And they, that also continued to fan the flames of their endearment for Jerusalem. But then they went on to other activities, but always holding Jerusalem close in their hearts. Well, one thing about Derek, we have work all over the world, but in the earlier years of Derek Prince Ministries, we did not have a work, an actual outreach in Israel. And so Derek made it his aim to start a work for Derek Prince Ministries in the nation of Israel. And it actually was announced 1 month before Derek passed away, August of 2003. Derek Prince Israel became official. And it was led at that time by George and Betty Jackson. And I think Sharon, you and George and Betty were close friends as well, and all of them were very close friends of Derek's. Well, the work continued pretty well and grew stronger and stronger with George and Betty's oversight. And the intention was basically to bring Derek's material to the people of Israel in English, in Russian, and in Hebrew. And so that work continued in a deliberate way, but when we hit a bump in the road, and that bump in the road actually was providential, because that bump in the road that we hit actually was the predicate for the closer development of our relationship with Christian Friends of Israel. During the COVID years, which we all remember so well, some fondly, some not, but during those COVID years, it was impossible for George and Betty to travel to the nation of Israel. And among the executive leadership of Derek Prince Ministries worldwide, that became a concern to us. And we said, okay, what are we going to do here? We have no active work going on in Israel at this time. And as Christen alluded to, we, through our German office, Michael Tracy's sister Amber was very involved with Christian Friends of Israel. Alex Genovese, who's our director of Derek Prince Ministries Australia, and Michael began to hatch this plan, and they said, well, we could work actively with Christian Friends of Israel in Jerusalem. And actually, they're boots on the ground, and we could work together. Just a little digression here. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember the name Harry Truman. Please don't hold up your hand. But I don't subscribe to much of what Harry Truman believed politically. But one thing he said, which I really believe with all my heart, he said, it's amazing what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's a good statement.
That's the truth.
So we have never had the intention for Derek's ministry to put his name in lights. He never had that desire. So we are very, very content. And one of the things that the Lord is leading us to do in these days is to work in support of organizations like Christian Friends of Israel. We don't need to get the credit. All we're interested in is Derek's wonderful teaching being utilized for the growth of Christians all over the world, and especially now in Israel. And so that's why it's such a delight for us to be working in close connection and cooperation with Christian Friends of Israel. And we just honor you, Sharon, Ray, the work that has already been done, Tristan, Galia, Kim, all the people that have contributed to this. But what really was the catalyst to it was the early COVID years when we were kind of shut down in the ministry. And at this point, I'm delighted to turn it over to the president of Derek Prince Ministries, Philip Wyns, who will talk about present work and future work.
I really appreciate that, Dick, that introduction, especially since the combination of what Dick had to say and all that has been said is actually what I was going to say. So I'm trying to think exactly what we're going to do, but Tristan's introduction was actually exactly what I was going to say. So that's okay, that's fine. And I thought, Dick, we had agreed that COVID was a bad word, that we weren't going to say that word anymore, but, no, we didn't say that. But COVID, I know, was very difficult for a lot of people. And going back to the Jacksons, George and Betty has passed on this past year. And I was, along with Dick and my wife Lisa and Cindy and Vashkin, we were able to go and spend time with her before she had passed away. And at this stage, they said, we don't have the ability to continue on the work. And through COVID, we were able to establish a relationship, a greater relationship with CFI. And there's no greater organization that we could partner with, truly. Just having time with Tristan and Galia in Spain and learning more about them, and Susan and others, it truly is an honor for us to partner with you guys. And like I said, we're so grateful to be here. We're so grateful to partner with you. During difficult situations, God is always up to something. How many people know that? And so during COVID and those difficult times, we don't always know what God's up to, but God strategically placed these relationships together so that we can continue on the work that God has. And as you know, Derek and Ruth and his first wife, Lydia, they loved Israel so much. And a lot of times when Derek would finish praying over the food, he would say, and we pray for the peace of Jerusalem, because that was so special to him. So thank you so much, everyone. We love you. We're here to support you in any way we could possibly do that. And we're just honored for this relationship. So thank you very much.